Hello, Year 5. I'm just about to read my last chapter of Cosmic. It feels like years ago that I was sitting in here reading you the very first chapter. About 4 months ago now. And it's about a week left to the end of school, and you're still stuck at home, not able to come in. We all really miss you. We wish you could be in, but remember, we've got to try and keep everyone as safe as we can. But at least we've got this technology, at least we've got these videos that we can share this amazing book with you. And I hope you've really enjoyed it. It's been really fun reading it to you. And if you're ever bored over the summer and you fancy something to do, you could just go back and watch them all there again. They're all on there. Anyway, I'm going to read you. This is not a simulation. Are you ready? Well, I did it. I successfully redocked the command module with the Dandelion. If it had been a game of Orbiter 4, I would have got an extra life for that. The children came back through the hatch, giggling and pushing each other. And Samson too said, "Guess what? You were wrong." "What?" "This is not a simulation. We really are in space. We've just had a water fight on the moon." He went on to explain that water fighting on the moon turns out to be quite complicated. You can squirt the water all right, but it flies this spooky, curved flight, like a diagram following an arc towards the ground. And it doesn't ever find its target. In mid-flight, it turns into tiny clouds and drifts along like ghosts for a while before disappearing altogether. He said it because they were in direct, unmediated sunlight. The temperature could have been up to 130. The water just boiled. I thought it might have been weird standing there, feeling quite comfortable, but knowing that if you took your suit off, you'd boil to death. But they didn't. They smelled slightly fireworky. This is because some elements of the moon dust they trailed in had reacted with the oxygen inside the Dandelion. And they were just covered in the dust. Just covered. They looked like chimney sweeps. I found a little hoover for cleaning up crumbs attached to the wall near the food cupboards, and I made them hoover their suits. "Otherwise, everyone will know what you did," I said. "They'll be able to tell just by looking at you." Max wanted to know why it was such a big secret. "Surely it's something to be proud of, being the first child on the moon," he said. And Florida said, "They're going to find out anyway, next time anyone goes there. Do you know what we did?" "No," said Samson too. "Don't tell him. It's a surprise." "Oh," said Max, "we almost forgot. A present. Moon rock." And he gave me a square grey stone from another world. What else did they do down there? Well, seeing as I'm the dad, I'll tell you like a dad would. 1. How we got there. We had a great run out. We didn't see any traffic to speak of. Just one meteor shower and that was it. 2. What the parking was like. For a start, the parking was completely free of charge, and there was an infinite number of parking spaces. As long as you looked out for the boulders and canyons. How come they can provide ample parking on the moon and not in Bootle? I'd like to know. What it was like in the old days? Well, they had the Apollo programme. There seemed to be some bloke going to the moon every few weeks. I thought we'd all be going up there for our holidays when we grew up. Now look. 4. Something thoughtful which made you think. We walked on the moon. We made footprints somewhere. No one else had ever made footprints. And unless someone comes and rubs them out, those footprints will be there forever because there's no wind. 5. Something to do with last night's football. No football because there wasn't enough gravity, but we had a water fight instead. The winner was surface conditions. After they were back on board, we did one more orbit. 3/4 of the way round, we burned the Dandelion's boosters and we were heading back to Earth. They all rushed to the back and watched the moon getting smaller and smaller. Florida did ask me then, "What about you, Dad? Did you have a good time?" It was all right. It might look like a coincidence that Dad rang me just as the phones came on, but it wasn't. He'd been trying for days and days. He got through the moment they came back on because he'd been trying all the time. That's what dads do. I had to look out for the children like Dad looked out for me and his dad had for him, right back through time. Dadliness was out there among the stars, a force like gravity, and I was part of it. But in the end, Florida's obsession with weight was what saved us.
According to my maths, said Miss Sampson 2, we should begin re-entry procedures now.
You are joking, I said. We're miles away.
When you do a re-entry on the simulator, the Earth feels like this giant wall right next to you. If we looked out the window now, yes, it looked big, but you could still see the curve. You could tell you were way out. What you're saying is that my maths is wrong, which is simply illogical.
What I'm saying is that it looks a bit far away. It looks a bit high. To be honest, I don't want to jump from here. Florida said, Samson 2, when you did your maths, did you remember to add the weight of the dandelion, or did you do your calculations based on just the command module? Samson 2 stared at her for a little while and then said,
Excuse me, please,
and started his maths again. So we're still in high orbit now. We're using the sails to glide down as gently as we can into a lower and lower and faster orbit. It's like the world's biggest, gentlest helter-skelter, with views of Greenland, the Pacific, and northern Russia. Can't we just keep going nice and gently like this until we get down? Said Hassan. Sadly not. Eventually we started to see the glowing envelope of atmosphere. You can't just float through that. It's a firewall. We're back in the command module now. We've pressed the green button. All of us together this time. I felt the jolt as we uncoupled the dandelion. I could almost hear Keira Knightley's voice kicking in. We realise you had a choice of carrier today, and we'd like to thank you for choosing, as she drifted off into space. We know what buttons to press to make our descent. We're just waiting for the right moment. The monitors are all still out. Samson 2 is running Orbiter 4 on the wrist station. We're watching it on the wall. I'm pressing the real buttons a few seconds after he presses the game ones. I gave them a team talk. I said, Reinflate your vehicle escape suits and stay calm. I know we can do this because we are cosmic. Then I jettisoned the bottom half of the module, the bit with the window and the door and all those things that can't stand the pressure. So now we are flying blind. We've got no window. I can more or less feel the angle in my bones. If we hit it wrong, we bounce off into space. Now the gravity is really hurting. It must be increasing. We must be right. I'm looking at Dad, St. Christopher. It's rocking side to side, like there's an earthquake. I can feel myself getting heavier and heavier, like the boy in his story. I can barely move. The simulator is counting down, and now I can hear it saying, Uh-oh, you're dead. Oh, that's the end of the chapter. I wonder if they're going to make it. I hope you've enjoyed listening to Cosmic as much as as much as I have reading it to you. Please let us know how much you've enjoyed it. Send us an email. Tell us you've finished it and you've loved it. Let us know that you've liked the book. And I really look forward to seeing you all in September. Bye.